Alright, so I'm going to give you guys just a quick run through of how to actually navigate the GroupStar platform. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to just stop me as I'm going through and ask away. So right now we're actually just on the home page of the web platform. So we've got popular templates up here if you wanted to have any sort of initial storyboard ideas based off of a template. So you can actually click any of these and get yourself started right from there. Let's open up some of the live productions. So right now we're going to go through our Learn to Use GroupStar storyboard just as a little example of how we would go through creating a production and storyboard. So right here we've got production pins. So if you're creating a new project, people can use this to identify the production itself. If you notice any of these little eye bubbles, if you need any extra information on any of these sort of headings, you can mouse over those and they'll give you some extra info. So we've got inside we've got production name as well as the name that your contributors will see once they're in the app, so you can pick that. You can select a category for whatever kind of production you're making. So in this case we're talking about promotional content for sales. And then inside of here in the product description, production description, we can go through just giving a brief summary of what this project entails and what we are planning to accomplish from each specific production. You can also use add a watermark that will show up in the bottom right corner of any of your videos. So if you want to have a Telstra logo featured in the bottom right, you can actually upload a small image and that'll show up while you're actually creating the videos themselves. You can add an appropriate production cover photo that people can identify once they're actually on the app. And inside of here, you can decide whether or not to make this public or private so that only your contributors can see active productions, and as well as if it's live or not. So if you set this to off, people won't be able to see this production inside of the app or on the web platform as well if they don't have access. A couple other options, you can go through the enable app. You can enable or disable the in-app feed, so when your contributors are actually recording clips, you can set it to the live setting, which means any contributor can see anybody's contributions, or if you set it to off, then they can only see their own contributions. Capture-wise, this is for low and high quality. Obviously, we want to keep that on high. And once you have all of this set in, you can click Update Project, and then we can start filling in the shots. So if we go to the shot list here, this is what we're talking about in terms of a storyboard itself. So first you're going to add a question. So in here you can fill out all of the respective fields. So just a general thing for what the question itself would be. So in terms of our Learn to Use GroupStar one, the first one is giving an introduction to the production. So just a bit of general information. And then inside of the description, you can give a little more detail in terms of what the shot is going to look like. And if we wanted something to be scripted out, we can actually fill in the teleprompter right here. And if you save that, this will show up in the actual app when your contributors are recording. So if you don't want them doing something on the fly, they can actually have a pre-planned script to read off of from there. From here, you can actually select how long you want the clip to be. If it's shorter or you want people to make a shorter contribution, you could limit it to something like 10 seconds just so that they have to give a snappier response. If it's something a little more content heavy, you can extend that as far as 60 seconds just to get a little more detail included. Orientation wise, you can set it to any portrait or landscape. We definitely recommend landscape just for the best video output. And as well, if you wanted to give some sort of direction on what you want this shot to look like, you can actually upload a sample video of what you want that clip to end up looking like, and they'll be able to actually click on that sample within the app and view it themselves. So once you've done that, you can save the question, and then we can keep running through this, adding our questions as we need. If you find that you need to add an extra question along the way, but you want to shift the order, you can actually just use the up and down arrows, and now this question that was previously in the slot number 2 is now in slot 1, and if I click the down arrow, it's now returned to its original place. So this is where you'll be filling in that up to 10 questions per production just inside of this shot list section here. What we can also do is send invitations through the web platform itself. So if you actually just type in anybody's email, so if I were to do Cameron@precisionbit.com and then send this, I would receive an email with an App Store invitation, and then from there I could actually create my own account. Inside of the contributor section, we can actually see who we've invited to these projects, what organization they're from, and you can assign what kind of role they have. So are they a customer, an influencer, community member, or are they actually a staff member of yours? And you can also see when they've last logged in, just to make sure people are on track and are sending in their submissions on time. If we actually go to the footage section here, we can see how long ago each contribution was sent in, and then we can actually preview the clips in here as well. So we can actually just go here, it'll load the player, and then we can play these clips directly from the web platform itself. So we've got a couple of options in here. You can actually click the check mark here to approve the clip for later use if you want to use that in your final production. You can click this button here, and this will prompt a download for the clip. If you wanted to download that yourself, you can delete the clip if you are not satisfied with it. But more importantly, if you review a clip and you see maybe somebody didn't contribute something that maybe they were lacking a little bit of content, you can actually go back into here, click the feedback message button, and actually send out an email directly to that contributor, and this will send them a link to actually view the clip. It won't send them the clip itself, but they can click on this link included in the email, review the clip to see what you were giving feedback on, and then they can go back and reshoot that clip for themselves. You can actually also sort by length and date, and if you are looking for a specific question, you can type in a couple of the keywords to find those exact clips as well. And in terms of web access, you can actually decide whether or not to make this public on the app or not. So that's pretty much it in terms of just a quick run through of how to actually navigate through this. Most importantly is definitely going to be that shot list. So making sure that you're thinking about what kind of questions you want to ask, providing enough of a description in here that your contributors have a good idea of what they should be talking about, especially if it's an on-the-fly question. If they have a couple of guiding questions to help form an idea, then they can give a good response when they're actually being recorded, and then using that teleprompter if you're planning to use a pre-planned script, and then they can just read that directly off the phone as they're recorded. So other than that, if you guys have any other questions, definitely feel free to ask.